Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lego Rebel. And I'm Vic. And this is my assistant Vic. And there's also Roger, who's currently manning the camera. Hi! Now, in today's video, we are going to show you this custom Gravity Falls Dipper and Mabel's bedroom MOC. Now, I bet none of you are wondering why I decided to create a Gravity Falls build. Well, A, Gravity Falls is cool, plus I think this year there was a new version of the Book of Bills that was released. I think it had like Invisible Ink or something. Probably need to double check when that was released or if it hasn't been released yet. Anyway, and B, because I technically promised that I would in the description of my Fresno Nightcrawler MOC a while ago in the form of a code. Speaking of which, if you like cryptids in Gravity Falls, consider checking that one out after this video's over. Did you really just plug in that video or advertise it or whatever the right word is? I don't see the problem. Anyway, and I always try and keep my word, so that's why I did the Gravity Falls MOC. And I guess without further ado, we shall show you the minifigures. Now, the first minifigure in today's MOC is this custom Dipper Pines. Now, this is a slight redesign from my original Dipper Pines custom in my very first Gravity Falls video. For this one, I got Hermione's legs from the Forbidden Forest set from Harry Potter, if I'm not mistaken, a random Lego City torso with medium nougat hands, I think. That might be wrong, whatever the normal Lego skin color is other than yellow. Ron Weasley's face, which is the same from the last one, and a Lego Friends hairpiece that comes off of Leo, I think is his name. I can't actually remember. And I really do like how this custom ended up turning out, even though I wasn't able to include the hat like with the last custom. And I also gave him a dark red book, which comes from the Boogeyman minifigure from series 27, I think. And while it isn't really journal number 3, it's better than my custom journal number 3. If any of you saw my original Gravity Falls minifigures video, you'll know that my custom journal number 3 looked like it had been pulled out of a dumpster. But overall, I really do think this is a solid improvement from my last design. Now, the final minifigure in today's MOC is Mabel and her pig Waddles. Now, this minifigure I don't think was changed from my last Gravity Falls video at all, and that's because I was already pretty happy with her design and I didn't really think it needed any changes, other than maybe a different sweater, but I didn't really have one, so that one will have to do. Speaking of that sweater, it comes from one of the characters from Lego Dreams. I forget his name, but he's the one with the bowl cut and the weird all over the mouth brace thingamawhatsit. I don't know what that's called. The skirt piece comes from the Retro Space Woman from series 26, and I gave her some tealish tiny legs, as well as the Stable Lass's face and Olivia's original hair from Lego Friends. And I just gave her a normal pig for Waddles since, I mean, come on. Everyone knows that Mabel needs Waddles. Also, Mabel is going to be my Halloween costume this year, and we actually did get a pig costume for one of our dogs, Harper, and she absolutely hated it. I just wanted to mention that real quick. And overall, I still am happy with this Mabel custom. And now onto the actual build. Now, where to start? I don't actually know where to start this. Wait, maybe I should start by going from the left side and then about all the details and then going to the right side. Then again, you probably can't see all the details that good. Hold on. And there we go. Hopefully y'all can see the inside better. Now on Dipper's side of the room, I decided to add an orange soda can since there was technically one, or it was in a lot of the reference images that I saw. Technically it was on the rug, but I couldn't get it to stay, so I just opted for putting it on Dipper's side of the room. I also added a backpack. I think his is supposed to be like dark tan, but I only have backpacks in blue for some reason. So I chose the most adventure-y looking one, and also the only one that I could find. And I also added a thing in the back for Dipper's binoculars to hang. And I also added his bed, and I just used some blue, white, and brown pieces to make the bed look like, well, a bed. And I also made Dipper's cover a bit more messy than Mabel's. Speaking of which, on Mabel's side, I decided to add a chest from a Minecraft set. I think they're in a lot of the newer Minecraft sets. And I also added a couple of stuffed animals, 2 of which are from the plush toy collector from series 27, as well as a stuffed rabbit since, well, it's Mabel. Do I really need to elaborate on why she would have a bunch of stuffed animals? I also added a suitcase since, well, she probably had one. I think she did have one in a lot of the reference images I saw. And I used light yellow, pink, and magenta for her bed, as well as some brown for the backboard thingamawhat's on the bed. And on the desk, I used a bunch of different brown pieces, not pleases. I used a bunch of different brown pieces to give it the wooden desk look, and I added a lantern, a stack of books on top, and I also gave Mabel her dresser, or at least the dresser that's on her side of the room, with the lamp on top. Granted, the lampshade should probably be tan, but for some reason I couldn't find one in my collection, so I just opted for gray instead. And I also added a box near Dipper's side since I saw that in a lot of the reference images, as well as the blue rug, which I didn't put centered because in a lot of the images I saw, it was more so on Dipper's side than Mabel's side. This is a top side view of the MOC, so you can more easily see, like for example, the neatness on Mabel's side, or on Mabel's bed, and the more raggediness on Dipper's bed. I guess it would be raggediness. And also, I did not completely smooth out the back. Hold on, I'll show you in 1 second. This is what the back looks like. You can see that I did not, again, entirely smooth out the back, mostly because I didn't think I would be showing you the back, but then I realized that you wouldn't be able to see how I attempted to make the triangular window in Dipper and Mabel's room. I basically used some cheese slopes and a bunch of transparent pieces to recreate it. And yes, the cheese slopes fell out when I was showing you the top side view of it. Probably should have thought that through before I decided to do that instead of take the camera off the tripod and then show it to you anyway. And while it's in no way, shape, or form the best way to create a triangular window out of Lego, I still am proud with how I was able to create the triangular window. And back on the inside of the build, you can also see that I decided to attach the fairy lights in the room to the pole that I put on the top of the roof, which I added because there was still a gap in the roof where the tips of the roofs didn't quite line up, so I put that there to kind of make it look better. And then I saw as an opportunity to add the fairy lights that were in a lot of the reference images that I saw. This is what the left side of the roof looks like. Nothing much to note really, other than the fact that I used a couple of tile pieces to give it a bit more of a wooded texture. And this is what the other side of the roof looks like. Again, not that much different other than I used a couple of different tile pieces for detailing. And this is what the build looks like with all the minifigures plus waddles in there. Wait, do animals count as mini? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't. Anyway. And while I couldn't cram all the details into their bedroom, I really am happy with the details that I was able to cram in there. And overall, yes, I really am happy with how I was able to create this build. Well, that's the build. Please consider to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace out.